assurance from his Carlin crew, headed by Trevor Carlin. He's there this weekend. Carlin Motorsport, an absolute powerhouse in the junior ranks of world motorsport. Really look after their drivers and maximise their mindsets to ensure that good performance can take place. Melville McKee now towing up to the back of this group. There it is. Well, I say it's a quartet. It's almost two gaggles of cars as we see Niederhauser now looking very racy. That is Kujala that he's trying to pass. And then you have Melville McKee with a Trident car. That is, I can't quite see who it is, but it is a Trident car. That is Kujala and Niederhauser. And now Kujala goes defensive. Niederhauser to the outside. It's very difficult to get the car stopped for the Della Roggia, especially around the outside. And Kujala defending again into the first Lesmo. Niederhauser's going to have to work hard because Kujala has his elbows out and is not playing ball in terms of letting Niederhauser pass. And why should he? It's a race. And it's a race to the checker flag. Kujala having a better run in terms of performance, certainly compared to the rest of his 2013 campaign, and he wants to maximise it through the Variante, Ascari, and on to the back straight. Kujala from Niederhauser in this little group. That's back to the front of the field. So Kvyat leading, and we've completed 10 out of the 17 laps, but for some reason that graphic says lap 7, and that is why I was a little bit confused earlier on, because the graphic on the bottom of your screen does not match the lap countdown at the top of the screen, which is always incredibly helpful. No live timing, unfortunately for me, for this race, but that should be fixed for race 2. Through the Curva Grande, down to the very bumpy braking zone that is the Variante della Roggia. Good line is important through here. Do not get too far onto the exit curve. Regalia borderline, and now into the first Lesmo. The sun really low here at Monza. It's been an absolutely beautiful summer's day, although it's almost autumn now, into September. Very hot for this time of year, even in Monza. And the sun very low, and through the trees here, it's absolutely beautiful. What a great venue the Autodromo Nazionale Monza is, and what a great race the GP3 boys and girls are throwing up here on Saturday evening. Niederhauser off the back of Kujala, now having to turn his attentions to Melville McKee, who has got past Venturini. That was Venturini I was struggling to identify earlier on in the Trident car. So 8 laps completed here at Monza. We have a yellow flag as we're looking at Facu Regalia having to defend from Williamson. This is back to this gaggle of cars. Melville McKee now under pressure. Niederhauser coming back at him. Venturini's going to get forced onto the exit curve, and that is the recovering Carlos Sainz Jr. now into the mix. He's got plenty of pace up his sleeve, and the red mist is down for the Spaniard. He's gone and set the fastest lap of the race so far, and cutting through this gaggle of cars like a hot knife through butter, on and into the Della Roggia on the wrong line. Couldn't make it stick. You're going to have to brake pretty late to get around Melville McKee. Now Venturini comes back at him, and all that hard work undone. Carlos Sainz Jr. now will have another look into the second Lesmo. Too fast an entry as the rear of the car falls away from you, and the exit comes up very quick. A very easy corner to get it wrong. Carlos Sainz Jr. plenty of oversteer, nevertheless has the momentum and is in the tow up to the Variante Ascari. tries to put Venturini off. That won't work. Now he needs to pick up the throttle and concentrate on his exit. He short shifts up to third, a bit of oversteer coming out, and now it's the run down to the Parabolica. He's not close enough to tow up to the back of Venturini. So he'll have to look at getting a good exit here at the Parabolica. He's late on the entry. You can see he's really pushing. It's win it or bin it for Carlos Sainz Jr. His teammate Daniel Kvyat leads from Nick Yololi. It's Facu Regalia in the final podium position. Lewis Williamson fourth, then Sims, and then Kevin Corjus rounding out the top six. We're looking at the battle for ninth. Niederhauser, McKee, Venturini. That's Sainz Jr. in 12th in the Red Bull Junior car. Then it is Zonzini in the third Trident entry, who's just got on to the back of that gaggle of cars as they squabble for position. 9 laps completed here at the Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. 8 laps to go. It's been a fraught affair so far. Plenty of action all the way through the field. And the GP3 cars definitely putting on a show. Out of the second Lesmo, Kujala going defensive again. Niederhauser looking to the outside. Kujala will be happy to keep Niederhauser there, but Niederhauser's got a real run on the Finn, and he's finally passed him around the outside of the Karainen GP car in to the Variante Ascari. Now Niederhauser needs to get his head down, break the toe, and try and push on. Niederhauser leading that gaggle of cars. Melville McKee is the driver now, putting Kujala under pressure. Busy time for those drivers. And this is the battle for third. This is Lewis Williamson and Facu Regalia, our championship leader. The Argentine risking it all, just running in to the Rettifiglio late enough to run Williamson wide in the mid part of the corner. And that means the Brit has to think again in terms of where he can pass the Argentine driver. Facu Regalia has been a real find this year. Definitely not one of the names that I would have put at the top of my list for a championship challenge, but nevertheless he's proved that he's every bit capable, and he's very consistent and very fast. No doubt Daniel Kvyat is the man at the moment in terms of pace, but Facu Regalia doing everything that's needed and a bit more right now in terms of consistency. He's always there delivering, and if he can continue to do that through this weekend and in to the final round in Abu Dhabi, then his title chances will be boosted. He's in the hot seat, so to speak, as it stands, and with that comes pressure. Can he handle that pressure? We'll wait and see, only time will tell. Kujala still under pressure. Melville McKee all over the back of him still. It's been a very busy race for the Finn, and Melville McKee not giving up, and that's what Monza gives us. It's a real epic circuit with lots of different types of corners, very fast up the 2 straights, and that gives us the opportunity to see cars towing. And then the big braking zones mean that if you can get close enough, you have half a chance of passing the car in front. And this is where Melville McKee now will have a look at Kujala, and he's gone all the way around the outside in the big braking zone up to turn 1 into the Rettifiglio. Melville McKee now demotes Patrick Kujala down a spot, so Kujala now down into 10th, and this is the fight for the all-important reverse pole, or the reverse grid pole I should say. 8th place is where you want to finish on Saturday evening, and we're going to head for another commercial break. Plenty of action in the closing stages of this race, so make sure you don't go away. Welcome back to the Autodromo Nazionale Monza and race 1 of the GP3 weekend. We're on board with Carlos Sainz Jr. spun around at the first corner by Tio Elinas, who in turn was hit by his teammate Dino Zamparelli in a moment of madness. He's recovering now the Spaniard, and through the Variante Ascari, fighting for the reverse pole. Looking for a strong toe down the back straight, up to the Parabolica. Find the braking zone and make sure you get a good exit. And that is just what Carlos Sainz Jr. is doing. Now he'll build the throttle. And now you'll see whether or not he can get the momentum up to the Rettifilo. The track is very wide here. Then it goes very narrow, and the sensation of speed is great. Kujala goes defensive. Melville McKee around the outside. Can he get it stopped? No, he can't. He's straight over the speed bumps. That's affected his front wing, and Carlos Sainz Jr. having to get the switch back. It's all a bit messy on the exit of the Rettifilo. That is, I think it's Venturini or Zonzini coming through as well. So the big loser, Melville McKee,